FCA here at Mauldin High School has been around for, I guess, about 12 years. But there's a period of about 4 years that it was non-existent. It had gone away. And I guess in those first years, we would have about 30 kids that were coming every week, once a week, in the afternoon to meet with each other. But it was more or less, it became kind of like almost a clique in a way, where it was just another opportunity for believers to come together and support each other, which is that's great, but there wasn't a lot of outreach going on.
I was involved with FCA at my high school in Lancaster High School when I was there, and also at Clemson University. And when I arrived at Mauldin in 2000, I was surprised that a school this size, we have almost 2,300 students, did not have an FCA chapter. But it wasn't until a couple years later when we were approached by some FCA staff to maybe get a huddle started here. And then that kind of led to me wanting to go to camp and see more about FCA and see what it was all about. And just from that week at Gardner-Webb, being with other coaches, being with other athletes that had been involved at FCA at their school, I knew it was something that we had to do here at Mauldin. The first year we had FCA here at Mauldin, it was pretty much coach-led. There were several of us involved, but we usually got speakers to come in, or we spoke, led pretty much every bit of the meetings. And the students, we had good attendance. We had 50 to 75 kids every week, but really they just kind of sat back and watched. And that summer we got some athletes to go to camp, and they really saw how, they got some ideas about how they could lead.
And when they came back, they were very fired up. As a result, our attendance in FCA blossomed that year. Their enthusiasm was just contagious, and a lot of that enthusiasm came from camp. I think these kids had some dormant or latent leadership abilities, and when they got to camp, they really they came out of them. And so when they came back here, it just, Lord blessed the ministry, and it was on fire.
We're really starting to see now some of the kids that were sophomores and freshmen when we first started FCA have really taken leadership roles now that they're juniors and seniors. One of our baseball players, Ryan Williams, has just been a great leader for us. He has just taken FCA on as just a real priority for himself, and he's done a great job of getting kids excited about it, of making our school a mission field, and just really just making Friday mornings fun. And like I said, the coaches really just have to show up and kind of make sure everything's running smoothly, but Ryan and the other members of the leadership team have done a great job of making our program run smoothly here, making our huddle a success.
It's cool to see how people grow in their faith whenever they know they're not alone in a high school. I've heard it said 1,000 times that one of the biggest mission fields ever is a high school campus. And it's a scary place when you feel like you're alone. But when you meet with 100 other believers once a week, and you sing worship songs and hear somebody speak about Christ and how He's working in their lives, and it's pretty cool to see 100 people wearing a shirt that just says Jesus, is He in you? And I don't know, lives have definitely been impacted, touched. God's definitely working through FCA here.
One of the neatest things that these kids did, they decided to do an FCA Day, Free Cookie Action Day. FCA, Free Cookie Action.
We basically had a free bake sale and gave out brownies, cookies. Everybody brought in tons of food, and we handed it out with everybody who got food had the option of taking like a little card that had a Bible verse on it.
Kids would come by and say, "What's the catch?" And they say, "No catch. We just want you to know that Christ loves you, and we do too, and have some cookies." And I tell you, that was a great thing. It was a great ministry opportunity, and that brought some more kids in.
Now we meet Friday mornings in the auditorium, and we put up somewhere between, I'd say 80 to over 100 people weekly, which is pretty awesome.
I was speaking with someone, one of the mothers that volunteers to bring breakfast into us on Friday mornings. I was speaking to her a couple weeks ago, and she was saying, "Well, this is a wonderful thing that you guys have going here." And I said, "Well, the thing I think is so wonderful is I'm seeing new faces every week." And so those are kids that aren't involved, or haven't been traditionally involved. That means that our kids that are in the huddle are reaching out and bringing other students in. Sometimes they're athletes, sometimes they're not. They're definitely making an impact.
Last year, I started to really question my faith and just started to really wonder about God, because up until then I had just been agnostic or atheist and didn't really worry about a God or my faith. And last year I got first period physics with Ryan, and he would always ask me and question me about my faith and invite me to come to church or FCA, and eventually I agreed, and I showed up at his Sunday night discipleship class, and that led to the next week going to FCA. And through a few weeks of just continually going and staying involved, I decided that I had been wrong the last few years, and I did eventually give my life to Christ. And a lot of that had to do with FCA, and it was just something I could go to every week, every Friday, and praise and worship and sing, and a constant reminder of how I should be living my life and should be living for Christ and just giving everything to Him. But yeah, basically it was just it was a reminder every week that I wasn't alone in high school. I had 100, 120 other brothers and sisters in Christ.
We've seen God work in a wonderful way here, and like I said, it's mainly been through His blessing these student leaders that we have, and also through the support we've had from our adult chapter.
I guess the reason that I'm involved with FCA is because FCA was not in my high school or college, and during high school and college I really struggled with putting my Sunday faith into practice the rest of the week and applying it to everything that I did. With the adult huddle, what we try to do is allow coaches and student athletes to express their faith, to grow in their faith through sports, and the adults really provide logistical support through meals for the huddle on Friday mornings, through camp scholarships, through the purchase of Bibles and devotional materials and those types of things. We talk a lot about the 4 C's of FCA: coaches, campus, camps, and community. And really the last one, community. Without community, it's the foundation on which the FCA rests. I'd really encourage you to get involved for the blessing that you'll receive, to ask your coach and the student athletes in your huddle at your school, what can I do to help? Would it be serve a meal or drive a bus or lead a devotional or pray for them, whatever it might be. And if your school doesn't have a huddle, start one. All it takes is a telephone call. So FCA is God at work through athletics.